Well, before we get into this video, I want you to take this in because what we're going to see is not my opinion. It's what players, coaches, analysts, and people around the game have said about one man, Ravel Morrison. Now, Jamaica has picked its squad for the upcoming World Cup playoffs. They'll play New Caledonia on March 26th, and if they win, they get to go on and play DR Congo on March 31st. And the squad, as you can see here, has come out. These are the players, the 27-man squad. There were two changes to the original squad. Two players got injured over the weekend, Demarai Gray and Kevin Lambert. And we have brought in Nakelia Fuller, and we have brought in Nikhil Ellis. Now, those players are from the JPL, and they're good players. But when I look at the entirety of the midfield for Jamaica, every single player, I don't see one player who has differentiating quality to come up against a team where most of its 20-plus man squad in DR Congo, if we beat New Caledonia and play in top leagues in the world, can actually keep the ball or comfortable under pressure against such an opponent. Ravel Morrison is 33. He's past his prime. His stats, as looked at performance, running a number of kilometers, the intensity of his run, the speed may not be there. But a player many have called a genius. A player many have said who have seen the game differently. A player who on his day can do things some players just dream about. And yet, he's not in the Reggae Boyz squad. Now, we don't have a litany of talent in the midfield. We have gone to tournament like the Gold Cup with just a few midfielders, which is a heresy. Ravel is not in the Reggae Boyz squad. Now, we can talk about systems, we can talk about performance, we can talk about discipline. And granted, over the years, Ravel has had a nomadic lifestyle. We can talk about physical metrics and selection criteria. But before we do all that, you just have to listen. Let's listen to what people have said about Ravel. Let us watch what is shown on the pitch, and then we'll come back and talk. Because even when you pass your prime, if you're Messi, if you're Busquets, if you're Pirlo, and those players in the later years, if you look at the performance metrics, so distance covered, speed that they exhibit, it's just not there. But they have this. The cerebral intellect of a footballer, the innate skill set that differentiate them. The one you want on the field to control the game, increase the tempo, slow it down, get out of difficult situations. So, watch, listen, and then we'll talk.
Let me tell you, Ravel is the best player of my generation, the generation 93 that I've seen. Oh, yes, there's no doubt. I'm telling you, confirmed, because people were saying it. I saw stuff, Neymar, quality, that we saw when he was at Santos. Ravel was doing this, but he was dribbling. You know, Ravel was like taking a... he was making fun of everyone, turning biggest talent of our generation, for sure. Let me tell you, Ravel.
The hardest player I dealt with was Ravel Morrison, one of the hardest. He just wasn't capable of being a full-time professional mentally. I always said to David Sullivan, like, I mean, if Alex can't sort him out, how do you think we can? Yeah. There was a spell where he was just, he scored a goal at Tottenham away, picked it up in his own half, dribbled past five, and chipped it over Lores. Like, he'd end up back in Manchester and we had no idea where he was. And they'd see him on Instagram or Facebook and say, he's in Manchester, we're supposed to be here training. Ravel went missing one Christmas once, and Mark Noble said he was back at home having Christmas dinner with his family. We were on the coach ready to go to our game away, I think it was. So then we meet up at night and then get ready for the game. We're waiting on the coach, and Noble says his gaffer, no point waiting for him, he's in Manchester with his family. Players give up on him as well.
Yeah.
Didn't want him around. He knackered then.
It's having a knock-on effect.
Nobby came in and said, we can't do with him anymore.
A minute's gone, and Ravel Morrison has another Youth Cup goal. Morrison, and he's away from Barry, and that's in the back of the net, and that's surely game over. And the best player on the pitch has got a brace. The best in the land at this level. The Youth Cup winners for 2011.
It seems to me that there's a modern-day Shakespearean tragedy unfolding here. This boy apparently is a very, very talented footballer, but he's got issues off the pitch which are definitely holding his development and his career back.
Now Morrison, all straight at the heart of the Lithuanian defence here. Morrison all the way! Oh, it's a fabulous individual goal.
When I first laid eyes on Rav, and when I used to be around him at the training ground, you could see there was a troubled boy in there somewhere, do you know what I mean? His home life wasn't as perfect as many. You talk to him, and you could see that it'd be vacant sometimes. He's not even there. Do you think, looking back at the other time again, you'd have asked for help?
Yeah, definitely. I'd have asked for help, and I'd definitely knuckled down.
Would you look back on your time growing up, even now? Would you say you had some problems yourself?
Like with depression and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, when I was in Italy, I was very depressed. I wasn't playing, could be the best player in training, and you was never going to get the opportunity. And yeah, it was dark then. I was going through a dark time in life then.
Is it possible to talk to teammates, to the manager?
No, never really.
Haven't you?
No,
just kept it to yourself?
I think it's women are all right with doing stuff like that. They're all talking in groups, but when a male's got a problem, it's difficult to speak out, isn't it? Like just to pull someone and tell someone how you're actually feeling.
Is it still the case today? Do you hear any players talking about their mental state of mind or anything like that?
It's still the same, it's not good. It's just like there's probably someone in this changing room right now, which is sad.
Suffering.
And yeah, it's probably in every changing room. There's at least one person that's suffering. Not everyone's going to be happy, but if someone would speak out, I'm going to be there for anyone in that changing room, do you know what I mean? And I'm sure the rest of the lads are, but it's just hard to get out.
There's a lot more access to help and a lot more openness to talk about it.
Yeah.
But still the culture within the football clubs is not to talk about it.
Definitely.
I was there at the club when he was there.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Concentration levels to be a top player that you need to be on it every day. He could never get that all marriage.
Ravel Morrison was the best player I've ever seen. Bit strong. The boy was an absolute joke, honestly. I'm gutted that you all didn't get to see him more than you did, because that boy should have been the best player in the world. He was ridiculous. What I'd seen, Giggs, Bale, he would have been on a level with them boys. Remember that goal he scored against Tottenham? That was just before Christmas. The club had had a bit of trouble with him. He wouldn't turn up for training. So he scored that goal, won the game. Me, Kev Nolan, Mark Noble had him at the back of the bus and got, right, Raf, this is you now. You know, everyone's speaking about you, seeing what you're doing. Keep it going, sort of thing. We trained Christmas Day to play Arsenal on the Boxing Day. We were in training, sitting on the bus at Upton Park. He just didn't turn up. And he just scored that goal against Tottenham whenever it was, and everyone was talking about it, and it was just that. So we thought we had him, and he was in, and his head was straight, and then he just fucked off.
To a match.
Yeah. Speaking of Ravel Morrison, he was on fire around that first season for you. What was he like to train with? Could you tell he had like just unbelievable ability? Was he one of the best you'd seen?
He's just natural ability was a joke. Like he didn't have to do anything in the sense that it would just, everything was just natural. Ball, his touch, the way he used to just try and meg people in training all the time. It was just natural ability. He was so good.
I always say, I think this might seem a little bit far-fetched. What I saw in training, I think Ravel is one of the best players people haven't seen enough of, or didn't see enough of him.
Yeah.
What he was doing in training,
He'd beat you and he'd come back and he'd beat you and he'd be laughing when he's doing it, wouldn't he?
And still try and make you.
And he'd be making you and then he'd be laughing. And he was just, his natural ability was like, Sir Alex Ferguson like picked him over Pogba, didn't he, at one point? Said he's going to be the better player, but for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But what he was doing in training, and then we saw a little bit of it in games, obviously the Tottenham goal, was just absolutely illegal.
I remember Tuna and Mayo, unbelievable.
But just, you give him a football, that boy, wow, was. I remember Matty Everton came. Was you here when Matty came?
No.
You might have gone. Sam, I think Sam was still here, and Matty didn't have a club at the time. So I asked the boss, Matty's looking for a club. Do you mind if you could have a look at him? Come down, he's still fit, buddy. He come down and trained with Rav, and I met him. He's been training for 3 days. Matty said he thinks he's probably the best player he's ever seen.
Wow.
As in, or maybe in training, because he didn't see him in the game, but he just couldn't believe what Rav was doing.
So, you've heard it. Not from me, but from the people who understand the game. You have seen the touches in the highlights, the vision, the moments. And now the question becomes, what do we value? Because football is not just about running around. It's not just about structure. It's also about imagination. Go back and watch the video. Look at the subtle touches. Look at the passes with the right pace, the deftness, the skill. Look at the anticipation. Look at the ability to dip a shoulder and get by a man, or to fool him with just a misdirection, or that look-away pass. It's about creativity. It's about a player who can change a game in a single moment. And right now, it feels like Jamaica may be moving in a different direction. Now, maybe that's necessary. We have heard the coach talk about discipline and lack thereof, and we know Ravel has had his challenges in that area. Now, I understand that. Maybe that's the evolution of the team. But it also raises real questions. Is there still room for a player like Ravel in modern football? Or have we just watched the quiet end of one of the most naturally gifted players to ever don the Reggae Boyz jersey? This feels like a farewell tour to Ravel. It feels like he's played his last game for Jamaica. Yes, if you listen, he is underachieved. But vision like that, genius like that, should be cherished. No matter how much of a maverick the person is, no matter how challenged they were, no matter how challenged they are. I believe, in my view, he should have been given one last hurrah. Hey, Ravel. Hope things work out well for you. We will miss you. Farewell. This is Cranky. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.